First story is titled, Am I the a-hole for telling my father he and his family get nothing from me? I, 19 female, am in college. 4 years ago, my parents divorced after my father decided he was done being responsible and left. He came back after more than a year and he married someone else and was helping raise her kids. He brought our mom to court for shared custody. He was granted less than 50% because he was out of our lives for a while. I wanted to stay with my mom, but the judge said he would order an evaluation to be done if we disagreed with his decision. I didn't want to cost my mom more, so I went along with it. But once I turned 18, I was done and I didn't go back. I have nothing to do with my father. He left us and then expected me to be his nanny. His wife tried to be nice to us, but she wasn't part of the equation in my eyes. My father had crap on my mom, left her with 3 kids and debt he got into, broke her heart, and he abandoned his kids. So I was there for my mom's sake, so she wasn't paying a crap ton for court. I have been helping my mom out ever since I graduated high school. Before really, but more now. I help with groceries and sometimes I go over to cook and stuff, so my brother, 16, can get his tutoring and help with homework. He has dyslexia and dyscalculia. And so my sister, 14, can get the therapy and stuff she needs while my mom works. My father found out I was helping and was annoyed I don't do the same at his house. I told him I owe him nothing and they get nothing from me. He claims I'm punishing his wife and her kids for his mistakes. I don't know why I honestly even gave this any thought. But is it a jerk thing that I really don't care to help out his wife or her kids? They're almost strangers to me. We're not family. Whereas my mom and my siblings are. I don't know. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. You are right. You don't owe them anything. Besides, what you do with your time is none of his business. This is also true. It's not. He lost the right to have anything to do with my business when he abandoned us. Once you made a decision, going no contact can be really liberating. Just something to keep in mind. You don't need more crap from him in your life. Sounds like you got a lot on your plate already. True, I do have a lot on my plate. Not the a-hole. Don't let him guilt you. You owe him nothing. He claims I'm punishing his wife and her kids for his mistakes. He just needs to step up and take care of his own responsibilities instead of shirking them off on someone else, like he did when he left your mother. It's such a leap of logic. They are complete strangers to OP. By his logic, I'm punishing his wife and kids by not helping out. Not the a-hole. I am guessing it doesn't provide child support. You are being an amazing human. I am sure your mom is proud of you. I'm going to guess no. My mom would never tell me because she didn't want to badmouth him. But she struggled a lot. She had to take on half of his debt because he racked it up as marital debt, and she was feeding 3 kids, paying bills, had a cost of divorce, and had to sell our family home and move. None of it was cheap, and she's still paying. He's meant to provide child support, but either he does and it's barely anything, or he gets away with not paying. Now for the next story. Am I the a-hole for not reaching out when my dad's mistress had a miscarriage? I wanted to have the courage to ask people if I am a jerk. When I was 12, male, I am now 16, found out my dad was cheating with a woman who knew my dad had a wife and children. Since then, I have resented my dad and my stepmom. I rarely speak to them, only when my mom wants me to have a relationship with my dad and talk to him, and obviously the court custody. So recently, I heard my stepmom had a miscarriage and to be honest, I don't care. I believe it's karma, but I keep it to myself. My stepmom is wondering why I am not reaching out, and so is my dad. When I went to my dad's house because of the court ruling, my dad was being mad why I have not consoled his wife and crap. I told him that is not my job. My dad was still in my face and was yelling at me and told me to talk more. I warned him and said, don't get mad at my true opinion, and you have been warned. My dad got mad at me, and to just say it and he won't care what I have to say. I asked him, are you sure? And he said yes. So I told him how I believe it was karma for helping you cheat on my mom, knowing you had a wife and kids. My dad then got very mad and told me to go to my stepmom and console her, but instead, I packed my crap and went out. My dad has been constantly calling me and texting me. I have not responded, but I am still wondering if I was too harsh. But then again, he did ask for my true opinion. Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. A good example to never ask a person their true opinion if you don't want to hear it. Yep, OP is totally in the right here. He warned the father. The father then lied through his teeth and shows this. Massive not the a-hole. Not the a-hole. You're old enough to stay with mom only. Do it. You are not responsible for her at all. Fact that your dad is blaming you after he asked your thoughts several times makes him a massive a-hole. He's lucky you didn't listen and tell her to her face that it's karma. I know, right? OP is a better person than I. I think teenage me would have gone up to the stepmom and told her. Not the a-hole. Who the hell would force a 16-year-old boy to console his stepmom about a miscarriage? Do me a favor. Your dad is out of his tiny mind, and his mistress, while understandably grieving her loss, is using that to manipulate your father. I'd keep my distance. They both sound like self-involved narcissists. The next story is titled, Am I the a-hole for telling my ex-wife to F off and not allowing her to talk to our kids? Please read before making a decision. I have 5 kids with my now ex-wife, 7 female, 5 female, 2 male twins, and a 7-month-old baby boy. When my ex was pregnant with a baby, she decided that she didn't want to be involved with me or the kids anymore, so she divorced me and signed all her rights away. The only reason that I know she is still alive is the child support checks that I get. My kids are obviously still upset over their mom just getting up and leaving, without even giving them a heartfelt goodbye. My oldest has expressed being cross towards me regarding the situation, since she's the only one that truly understands that her mom probably won't come back. She feels abandoned and has come to me crying because she believes that her mom doesn't love her anymore. My other daughter still believes that her mom's going to come back, and it really hurts to hear her ask when she'll come back. My other kids obviously don't understand where their mom has gone. All I can truly get from them is tears and asking where their mom has gone. Just to be clear, I don't badmouth their mother or say bad things in general about her to them. Yesterday, my ex called. I only picked up because I didn't recognize the number. She said hello and asked if she could speak to the kids. I said no, mostly because I didn't know how they would react. She said that she missed them terribly and because of COVID, couldn't see them, and she really wanted to hear their voices. I said that I wasn't comfortable with that. I told her that I would talk to my oldest 2 later on and ask if they wanted to speak to her, but for now I wouldn't allow it. She said that she was still their mom and that she had a right to speak to them. I said that she lost any right to them when she signed those rights away. At this point, my wife raised her voice and said that I was keeping her away from the people she loved most. I said that I didn't care about her feelings, that she abandoned the kids, and to F off like she did months ago, before hanging up. My kids weren't in earshot, just to be clear. I'm not proud of losing my temper because I'm not that kind of guy. But I was at my wit's end and couldn't take it anymore. I still have my mother-in-law as one of my contacts because I don't have anybody else to care for the kids if something happens to me. All night, she's been blowing up on my phone, saying that my ex-wife is still a mother and has a right to talk to her kids. I don't know. I'm tired. Honest opinions? Now for the top comments. She signed her rights away. It's your absolute duty to keep your kids safe mentally, physically, and emotionally. You decide if it's okay for her to see or speak to them. If you don't feel it's good for them right now, then your answer is final. You absolutely need to get the kids into therapy though, and should probably talk to someone yourself. This is a hell of a lot to deal with. While right now might be the wrong time for them to speak to her, at some point, it might be the best thing for them. Not the a-hole. Completely agree. The children are the most important people in this scenario. If the 2 oldest do want to talk to their mom, please consider it being on speakerphone with you in the room as a condition of the first few conversations. Info. Did something happen to your wife that made her walk away? Like, do you think it is these or something that long-term she could come back from? Not the a-hole. Your wife can't come and go as she pleases. That is horrendously unfair to your kids who need and deserve consistency, and a lot more than she is giving. Yeah, yelling is not ideal, but you are human and dealing with a lot, so you're not an a-hole for that. Is there anyone who can help you with the kids besides your ex-mother-in-law? Also, the kids and you definitely need therapy. They've been through something traumatic. She was always a very wild person. She could never handle long-term commitment, and while she wanted kids, didn't spend time with them because I was the stay-at-home parent. She just didn't like the responsibilities. Info. Could it be postpartum depression? It seems strange that on child number 5, she just gets up and leaves. I don't believe so. I have read up on the symptoms because that thought has crossed my mind before, and she doesn't match up on anything. Plus, she's up and left before, back when we were dating and didn't have children. Now for the last story. Am I the a-hole for buying my son, 16 male, a PS5 and refusing to buy my stepdaughter, 17 female, a MacBook? So, my 47 male, wife, 46 female, and I been married for 2 years and dated for 3 years before that. Both of our kids live with us. During this pandemic and lockdown, both our kids starting to do bad in school and wasting their time on PS4 for my son and stepdaughter with Netflix/FaceTime with their friends. I love my stepdaughter like my son, and I try to be close to her without pushing myself, and I know it will take a lot of time, especially with her age. My wife told me before we lived together that I am kinda not allowed to act like her father because the subject is sensitive. I understood the situation, and if she didn't do anything beyond her limits, like hurting my son, escape at night, or anything illegal, I will let her mom act. A month ago, I had a big bonus from work. I put some of the money in our shared bank account, and the rest, I can do whatever I want. Since I noticed the kids are doing badly in school, and not once saw them reading a book, I thought I can change that by giving them rewards for their achievements. So, I talked with both of them on the dinner table and asked them what they want to have, no matter how expensive it is. My son wanted a PS5, and my stepdaughter wanted a new MacBook since it's more beautiful, pinky and girly for her. I agreed. I told them if they do well on their exam for the next month and read the 6 chapters of the book that I gave them, same book, I will buy them their requested gifts. The rules were clear. You do good, you get the gifts. You do bad, you don't get anything. Honestly, I had low hopes on my son since I know he hates reading and studying. Anyways, the deadline came, and surprisingly, my son got 93% on his exam. He was studying 6 to 7 hours per day, and my daughter got 64%, mainly because I didn't see her study at all. And when I asked them to tell me about the book, my son did great. My stepdaughter read only 12 pages and tried to Google about the book. Not only did she not study nor read the book, she tried to cheat and lie to me. I didn't buy her the Mac and bought my son the PS5. My stepdaughter yelled, argued, and even cussed and threw a tantrum. I told her she should deal with consequences. I gave her another chance until Christmas since she has another exam, and to read the book again. So that night, I had a fight with my wife. She thinks that I'm favoring my son and that I don't care about her daughter, which is not true since both had the same deal. She tried to take money from our joint bank account. I refused and told my wife she can buy her whatever she wants with her own money, or she can stop spoiling her so she could do better. It's been 2 days we are barely talking, and she thinks I have to apologize to both of them and buy my stepdaughter the MacBook. I don't think it's fair since my son had to work hard and she didn't. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. Regardless of your relationship with them, you set your guidelines. Your son met them, your stepdaughter didn't. He played the game and won the prize. That's the end of it, as far as I'm concerned. So not the a-hole. Stand your ground on this one, man, or else they'll walk all over you for the rest of their lives. He got an A, she got a D. Those are nowhere near equivalent. Don't buy her the Mac. I repeat, don't buy her the Mac. And if your wife goes behind your back, freaking return it. You would only be the a-hole if you rewarded your stepdaughter for nothing when your son did what he agreed to. That's what parenting is. And that was a great deal for them which both could have taken advantage of if they put in the work. You are not the a-hole, but your stepdaughter and wife are both acting incredibly entitled. 90% passing sure makes a lot more sense to reward than 64% failing and subsequent cheating. Actions have consequences, and the fact your daughter and wife don't see that, and the accessing of the account especially, is a massive red flag. If she wants to reward her daughter for no reason, that's on her, but she's a fool to do so, and should do it from her own pocket. Not the a-hole. Edit. You don't owe anyone an apology. By the way, they owe you one. And she doesn't even have consequences. OP is giving her another chance. I can't believe his wife essentially tried to steal from OP to reward her daughter for having a tantrum. This 17-year-old has no hope of functioning in the real world at this rate. Not the a-hole. The rules were clear. Your son followed them and your stepdaughter did not. She agreed to the rules and didn't follow through, so she doesn't get the reward. If she wanted a MacBook, she should have studied. Not the a-hole. How would your son feel knowing he worked hard and his sister didn't, and they got the same reward? And that's the end of this video, folks. As always, leave a comment and hit like and subscribe. And if you want more of this content, turn your notification on to get updated on the latest videos. And I'll catch you in the next one. Stay safe.